real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Kelly Moberly says dating the defendant was the worst decision she's ever made. Kelly claims the defendant had a drinking problem and he cheated on her repeatedly, once with a 19-year-old and once with a married co-worker. She's suing her ex today for the cost of a television. Defendant Stephen Cromer says Kelly wanted their relationship to move faster than he did, but their relationship was going nowhere fast. Stephen says Kelly was extremely moody and would get upset when he wanted to spend time with his children. He denies owing her for the TV.
All right, proceed.
This man is the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life.
Where do you know him from?
We met in high school. He was a friend of my brother's. And after high school, the years went apart, and he contacted me late 2009, November, December, inquiring about my brother. Our conversations went on from that point. We exchanged phone numbers, text, called, and March 8th of 2010, we started dating.
Okay.
We had off and on relationships. He backed off occasionally and said he just gets like this. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And he has repeatedly went out with other women throughout our relationship.
Not true.
You observed, he admitted, or what?
He admitted to a couple to me.
The only time I went out with somebody else was when we were apart. We were off and on.
Sir, I'll let you respond. So that's why you say he's the worst thing that ever happened to you?
It's he has a drinking problem.
Okay. What would he do when he got drunk?
Sometimes he was very happy and excited to be with me, and those were probably our best times. Other times, if he wanted to be with his friends, then he would be with his friends. And it got to the point where I was not allowed to call his phone, text his phone, ask anything about his whereabouts, just accept where he was.
Okay, I guess I'm missing something. The worst thing that ever happened to you, you say he was. What?
Well,
give me some of that description of how that is the case. Because so far I hear that he cheated on you, and then he gets happy with you when he's drunk.
Correct.
So I guess I'm missing the worst thing that ever happened.
He cheated on me repeatedly.
Not true.
And he admitted some of the women that he had been with. One was with a 19-year-old girl.
Okay.
That's disgusting. I have children older than 19 years old.
Okay. Did you resume the relationship?
I did. He cheated on me repeatedly.
Not true.
And he admitted some of the women that he had been with. One was with a 19-year-old girl.
Okay.
That's disgusting. I have children older than 19 years old.
Okay. Did you resume the relationship?
I did.
Plaintiff Kelly Moberly dated the defendant, and she claims he cheated repeatedly, once with a 19-year-old and once with a married co-worker.
What else you want me to know?
Throughout our relationship, we had our ups and downs, and and I have purchased several items for him as gifts.
Okay, we'll get to that. The items, I guess that includes the television. Let me allow him to give some background.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, this relationship was going nowhere fast. She had been divorced for many years, and I'd only been just recently divorced, so she was on a faster track than I was. She became moody, clingy, two-faced, you know. For example, went out with...
you all living together?
No, we were not living together at the time, no. This was while we were dating. We'd just be off and on.
While you were dating, she was moody, two-faced, and what else?
That came later. The two-faced part came later in the relationship.
Before or after you lived together?
During the time we were living together is when it got worse.
Let's go over it again. What was she before you moved in with her? What?
Oh, she was very moody. She'd pout around if I went and hung out with my friends, or
she would pout?
Even going hunting with my youngest son. She got upset over that.
Okay. And you thought it would change if you moved in with her, or
no,
did you assume it would get worse?
I feared it would, but whenever we moved in together, she was losing her apartment.
I was not losing my apartment.
Okay.
You were...
Go ahead, sir. Speak to me.
Her son went to live with her brother in Boston, and she was losing her apartment because it was a government deal.
Subsidized?
Right. And we talked about it, and I talked to my mom and asked if it'd be all right if she moved in the house with me. And her mom said that'd be fine. And
Okay, so you was pretty much, you all would live together as a necessity.
Well, I
or you were
didn't want to
helping
see her.
her. It was her necessity and you were meeting
No,
it.
I enjoyed being with her.
All
yes.
right, well then that's why you moved in with her. What are you talking about? You moved in because you needed to, and the mom said this,
That's how it
she didn't
originated.
have that. You moved in because you wanted to. You wanted to move in with a woman who had mistreated you, who had been moody, who wouldn't let you go anywhere, who checked up behind you. You moved in with her, I guess assuming it would get better, when you should have known she may have ended up standing over you at night.
May have been. May have been.
Go ahead, ma'am. What do you want to tell me about this television you're suing him for?
The television, I go to Boston usually every year for my birthday, which is in February. We had planned a trip. I had purchased his ticket to go with me this year as well because he chose to go with me.
But my idea.
His son went with me to Walmart a couple nights before. We were in Walmart and the TV that we wanted was
Wasn't
on
no
sale.
Let her
I
finish,
talked to
sir.
the salesman, and he said that they only had the 2 televisions left, and that he didn't know that they would continue the sale if they got any back in stock. So I purchased the television, took it to his mother's house where we spent our time together.
Where were you living?
I was living in my apartment at that time.
Did you have a television?
I had a television in the living room, yes, I
Okay.
did.
So your purpose for purchasing it was for what?
For us, because he said that we were going to move in together. He was going to buy a home up beside his grandmother, and we were going to live together. So I purchased the television.
Left it over there.
Left it over there. The off and on relationship happened again. He had been out drinking and decided to mingle with other women. He told me he didn't want me again, so I went to his house, his mother's house, and I took the TV back to my apartment. And we ended our relationship, and it was stayed at my apartment.
Did he ever request the television be returned?
No, he did not.
All right.
He asked me why I did it. I said, if our relationship is over, that's why. His mother was upset the relationship was over. She was crying, and she was more upset that when I unhooked it, I did, in fact, mess up the internet.
Good enough. What else you want to tell me about the television?
He mentioned moving in with him.
When you all were back together?
Yes, sir. This was back in, May. Mother's
Did you
Day,
all
around
live
Mother's
together?
Day.
You all didn't live together at that point.
We didn't live together in May. I moved in second week of August.
You moved the television in with you
The second week of August.
to a mutual location or
Correct.
to his mother's?
Back to his mother's.
Okay.
That's where he requested I move in
Then
with
what?
him at.
It's the second chapter to the worst part of her life.
Second chapter to the worst part of her life. You moved the television in with you
The second week of August.
to a mutual location or
Correct.
to his mother's?
Back to his mother's.
Okay.
That's where he requested I move in
Then
with
what?
him at.
It's the second chapter to the worst part of her life.
Second chapter to the worst part of her life.
Plaintiff Kelly Moberly dated the defendant, and she claims he cheated repeatedly, once with a 19-year-old and once with a married coworker.
Go ahead, ma'am.
October 12th, I lost my job. At that point, I noticed a lot of changes with him. He started backing up and just being real moody, cold, very cold-shouldered toward me, always conversating with somebody else on the cell phone. The week
What does that
before-
mean?
Another woman.
Oh,
And he admitted to me. You admitted to me that you were talking to a married woman from work. You were seeing her.
Okay.
I didn't say I was seeing her.
Yes, you did.
Go ahead.
No, sir.
The week before Christmas, he asked me to leave, and I was packing up everything, and he told me I was not taking, he actually said it's the TV or the truck, because I had purchased a truck as well. And I said, the TV's mine. He said, no, it's not. And I said, the TV is...
So did you take both?
No, wasn't allowed to.
You took the truck?
I took the truck.
All right, and he has the television?
Correct.
Go ahead, sir. What do you want to tell me?
First of all, she called my son and asked him to go with her to pick out a TV for me for Valentine's Day and my birthday. And
When is your birthday?
my birthday's in June, but she got it for Valentine's Day and my birthday. She said, this is a big present. Blah, blah,
All
blah.
right.
That is a
That's
lie.
understandable. Some folks do that. I do that with my kids all the time. I say this is for your birthday, Christmas, and your next birthday. Oh, yeah, no, I've done 2 birthday gifts in one. Go ahead.
But she called my son and had him, and he went with her and picked out the TV, and they brought it back to the house and surprised me with it. And that's the way it was. It wasn't us talking about buying it together or anything like that. That never was a topic of conversation.
And what did she say to indicate that it was yours?
She said, happy happy birthday, baby. This is a big gift.
Ma'am?
That's a lie. No, sir. When I walked in, we put the TV. I did need Josh's help, but Josh and I were hanging out that day, which we did.
Had you told him you were going to get it?
We were talked about the TV several times.
No, had
yeah.
you told him you were going to get it then?
No.
And then you brought it, and you just brought it for the use, not for Valentine's Day.
Correct.
All right. Your man, you want to speak? She says you did go to the store with her to get the television. What do you want to tell me? State your name.
Josh Cromer.
What do you want me to know?
I remember she had mentioned using her tax return whenever she received it to get him a TV. We were not
When
already...
did she say that?
Oh, she was speaking about it in January, earlier
Ma'am,
after
did you
Christmas.
tell him that?
No, sir.
You never mentioned in January that when I get my tax returns, I'm going to get a television.
No, sir.
All right, go ahead.
We were not hanging out that day that she went to purchase the TV. I got a call that she did get her tax return back, and I drove over to her apartment to go with her to get it.
Is that how it went?
No, sir.
Okay, you all were hanging out doing what?
He stopped by my apartment, and he came there, and I was getting
What
ready.
did he say he was there for?
He just stopped in to chat with me all the time, have coffee. I made him coffee all the time, and we would sit and have coffee and scratch lottery tickets, out of all honesty. And I said I had to go to Walmart. We were getting ready to go to Boston. I wanted to pick up a few extra items.
What items did you pick up?
The TV that time.
That's all?
That's it.
Okay, but you told him we were going to pick up a few items.
Right.
So our objective was to pick up a few items, but you got absolutely nothing other than the television.
Because the TV was on sale.
I know. What about the
That's
other
it.
items? I heard that the TV was on sale, but that's not why you went. You went for other items.
Correct.
So I believe him now. Go ahead. What else you want to tell me, young man? You say she called, said, let's go to Walmart to get a television.
Yes, sir.
That's what you say. She say, let's go to get other items.
No.
Gotcha.
Okay, I got
She
to her
said, get the
apartment
television for what purpose?
to surprise him.
Then what?
Well, I remember before we left her apartment, her two youngest sons were there. And I don't know what she usually does with her tax return, but they were mad because she was going to spend it on him instead of on them.
He's making this up too?
Sean was not there.
I know, he's making this up about him discussing this with your children
Before
and the tax
the trip,
return?
yes, sir.
All right, you're making very specific allegations up. Go ahead.
Okay. We proceeded to go to Walmart.
Pardon me?
We proceeded to go to Walmart. When we got there was only one TV left, and she did buy it. And I helped him load it in the car. We took it back to his house to surprise him with it. When we got there, he had already gotten back from work. So we distracted him and got him to go into the kitchen long enough for us to get the TV out of the car and into the living room so that when he came back, there it would be sitting.
Very specific allegations, ma'am.
Plaintiff Kelly Moberly dated the defendant, and she claims he cheated repeatedly, once with a 19-year-old and once with a married coworker.
Do you have any other evidence you want to present me?
I have witness statements stating that he, where he had spoken to a couple people stating that he only took me back the last time to indeed take the TV from me.
He told
True.
people that?
Yes, sir, he
I
did.
never asked, you done said
Who
I
did
never
he
asked
tell
for the
that
TV.
to?
One was my sister-in-law, and one was a friend of theirs over at their
see.
house. He went over to their house.
Okay. Well, I believe
I have
him.
my
I believe
receipt.
him over your friends. I believe the defendant's witness over your friend. The defendant's witness was very specific, very convincing, had specific allegations from beginning to end in many relationships, many relationships, people who have given gifts. I want my gift back. I want my TV back. Give me my stuff back. It's likely what happened here. I found your testimony to be unbelievable. He came over for coffee, and while we were having coffee, I said, let's go to the store so I can pick up a few items. Yet you get there and you don't even pick up any items. You just happen to see a TV. It says, oh, let's get the TV. Your testimony regarding that was very vague and unreliable. His was very specific, very reliable. I'm going to believe him and not you or your paper friends. Claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Have a good life.